The Trapper. Springtrap got into the game before Trapper, starting with all of his bear traps by default. At this point, Vader will be in the game before the devs even buff him. But that flaw justifies the reason why you haven't unequipped any of the 2 iridescent add-ons in all of your loadouts. Despite being known as one of the worst killers in the game, you surprisingly win a lot of matches, and the satisfaction of winning with a low tier killer is enough for you to keep maining Trapper. The Wraith. Out of all the release killers in Dead by Daylight, Wraith Mains are the most likely to tunnel, camp, hit you on hook, or be toxic by spamming the bells, and it paints this character in a bad light for those mains who love to use Wraith in order to body block survivors with the speed. You also still don't know why sometimes you get a long stun as the Wraith while cloaked, and other times the stun is normal, but you would rather not ask. The Hillbilly. There are 2 types of Hillbilly Mains. Either you are one of those that watch a Billy compilation, get hyped after seeing a crazy Hillbilly curve, and try to do them in-game only to end up finding a new piece of collision you didn't know that existed, or you are the one making the Billy compilations in the first place. Regardless of which one you are, to this day you ask behavior to bring back Sky Billy. The Nurse. Nurse mains love the propaganda that this character has, where people claim they have an insane skill ceiling and are very hard to play. But the truth is that you fell in love with her after playing for 15 minutes and finding out how easy she is compared to other killers. You don't care about game balance or what map you play on, as nothing matters to you, just getting that win and knowing that survivors have a hard time. Just like you do when you see the finisher Mori and want to be on the survivor's end. Michael Myers. Shape mains are the closest we have to true casual players that actually enjoy the game for real. They know Myers sucks, and he will not be competitive ever with his power design, but you don't care. No other killer can eliminate a cocky survivor out of the match with an add-on, or make streamers scream from your jump scares. You also cringe every time someone says that Myers could defeat the entity, when he couldn't even defeat Busta Rhymes. The Hag. Don't call yourself a Hag main if you play Chag, because you are just a Hag tourist, so you don't count. But if you are a Hag main and you publicly announce it, you are brave. Despite how much hate you get with her, you are loyal and nothing will make you drop her, as her playstyle is very unique and no other killer can replace her. Every single developer diary, you pray for behavior to buff her and fix her broken add-ons, only to remember that the devs forgot they even designed this killer. But maybe that's a good thing, since that means they won't remember to remove the ability to spam hooks with your traps. The Doctor. The level of mastery of this killer is measured by whether you leave the Shack palette unbroken or not. If you don't, then you are one of the doctors that constantly appear in survivor compilations missing your basic attack, and spamming the powers in loops without being able to catch up, and you only play Doctor because you can find survivors with the press of a button. If you do, I am scared of playing against you. The Huntress. Huntress Mains have a lot of variety. Some are zoners which will hold the axe out for ages before throwing it. Then we have the campers, which won't leave the hook once they get someone downed. And then we have the crazy ones, which will go for insane pixel perfect shots and orbitals. Whatever playstyle you have as Huntress, all I ask you is that you stay away from the Holy Bible. Leatherface. Since the anti-face camp mechanic was introduced in the game, the majority of Boba mains just replaced him with someone else. But the true Leatherface mains stayed. Now, if you get someone who calls themselves a main of this killer, you know you are in trouble, as these can catch you even if you have Spring Burst thanks to the added distance from their add-ons. Freddy Krueger. Well, this part did indeed age like milk partially, because Freddy did get a very fun rework in the end that allows him a lot of choices in his match. You can choose to fake a teleport in order to make survivors lose distance, or cut survivors off during a chase when they least expect it. You can choose to have a build dedicated to the new snares, or focus on the pallet explosions. And you can also choose between the default look of Freddy Krueger as well as the prestige one. So many more choices. The Pig. Pig mains are most of the time pretty chill players. They know their character is low tier, but they still love Amanda, and you either get annoyed when survivors start to boop your snoot in order to attempt to leave, or this is one of the reasons why you choose to play Pig. The only thing the two Pig mains have in common is that they will trash talk CP445 anytime he tries to claim that he got the world record on her. The Clown. Clown mains know the reputation they have in the game, but they revel on it. It doesn't matter if survivors are having a miserable time against you because Clown is considered C tier, so they don't have the right to complain. You watch Arinats every single upload in order to perfect your craft, and you are still waiting for him to be added to 2 vs 8 considering how much potential his piss bottles have. The Spirit. While in real life you probably haven't heard anyone moan yet, in game you are an expert, as you know the breathing and injured sounds as well as footsteps of every single survivor, including legendary cosmetics, and you probably love going against Rebecca's and hate going against Renatos and Aurelas. There is a high chance you also bought the Tomie skin because it was pay to win, only to find out that they nerfed this cosmetic by making it louder than normal Spirit is. The Legion. Legion mains don't care how low of a skill floor their character has, because that's exactly why they play them. You don't need no macro knowledge, no map knowledge, you just stop survivors, run fast, listen to metal, and go for the pulsating icon in order to chain the combos, and that's it. You don't need anything fancy, and Legion is fun to play when you don't have a pretentious killer main telling you they are trash and skillless. The Plague. There are 3 things I am sure about you if you main Plague. You don't have emetophobia, you love when survivors bring medkits into the match, and you also love tall and elegant women. Let's be real, there are some Plague mains that are so cracked they probably dominate their projectile mechanics of the vomit better than the fluid dynamics of their bladders when they go to the bathroom. The Ghostface. If you main Ghostface and you are also on Steam, you probably have an album full of all the Memento Mori screenshots from playing this character, or you straight up have it as your profile pic. You know Ghostface sucks, but he is the only true stealth killer in the game and you love that, especially sniping survivors with the driver's license add-on from angles that are so insane no survivors would ever expect it. No matter from what device you play DVD, there is an insanely high chance that you have a Ghostface mask somewhere near you at all times when playing the game. The Demogorgon. Demogorgon mains don't ask for much, as the only thing they want is for Netflix to agree for more cosmetics, since they got 0 after the license returned, and also for behavior to remove the invisible collision found in some of the maps so that they can fly again. You are hoping that the November license is Stranger Things Part 2, and you are lucky, because you can be as miserable as you want and survivors would still love to go against you despite Demogorgon being a zoning machine just like Pyramid Head and Huntress can be. The Oni. If you are a console Oni main, you're probably extremely happy now that he's so much more flexible to play with and you can finally flick like the PC players do. And if you are a PC player, you are probably very annoyed at how you had to change your sensibility more than an average Valorant player does in order to not do a 360-degree turn anytime you want to hit a survivor that is at a 15-degree angle from you. The Deathslinger. Don't call yourself a true Deathslinger main if you use any rifle skin outside of the default one. And yes, not even the recolors or the prestige count. It has to be the default one. You probably know the collision of the map better than any other killer main in the game, able to spear survivors from a hole that is 3 pixels wide, and it doesn't matter if you win or lose a match, as long as you get your quota of spicy shots. Also, remember when his tear radius was only 24 meters? Don't worry, because Deathslinger Mains will remind you every single time there is a balanced discussion about this killer. Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head mains are by far the most predictable out of them all. I can guarantee that they are running 2 range add-ons because the rest are absolute trash. Now, depending on their build, their playstyle changes a lot. The generator slowdown ones will tunnel you out of the match, use the power to zone more, and always make sure to hit both the Rescuer and the Uncaged Survivor to get 2 health states. The ones that use aura reading builds will try to get insane shots with the range power, either blind shots through walls, collaterals, or pyramid head flicks, which they won't stop talking about. Also, I know you bought his last cosmetic, you can't hide that from me. The Blight. Blight Mains and Ego go hand in hand unless you are called Lilith Omen. They will pick up brutal strength and zone the hell out of you while justifying this playstyle because they claim survivors are way too overpowered, all while wearing the blue default recolor with the ice cane like their god Momo 7th does. Just like Nurse Mains, they will win the majority of their matches, but when they lose one, they will take it in a very bad way, claiming that survivors are either stream snipers, subtle cheaters, or a 4-man using the most cracked builds, being the best example of negativity bias. The Twins. With Pixel Bush abandoning Twins in order to become a Skull Merchant main, the community of Twins mains was reduced by half, as only Linksy is left. Now that my obligatory no one plays Twins joke is out of the way, I am sure Twins mains will be millionaires if they got paid for each time their character had a game-breaking or extremely problematic bug with each new update. It's so common that at this point, it's a comedy. The Trickster. Trickster Mains came because he was hot, and stayed because his playstyle was actually pretty fun and unique compared to other range killers. They are very annoyed at how the community considers Trickster to be buffed despite the reworks removing a lot of nuance from this character, and they are also probably pissed for being known as the most brain-dead mains out of all range killers, despite Trickster being a mechanically hard killer to play with if you want to perfect him. You're also probably very tired of people claiming that Trickster is not horror, considering how horrific his lore is when you read it. The Nemesis. Aside from a content creator, I am also a magician. I can guess part of what your loadout looks like, okay? I am seeing the classic Nemesis skin, as well as Marvin's blood and, let me see, Licker's tongue. Did I get it right? Well, if I didn't, that's only because you don't have enough cash to get yourself the classic Nemesis skin, or you are just one of those weirdos who do builds based around the zombies because you saw a content creator do that once. The Cenobite. I am not even going to make fun of Cenobite Mains. I feel sorry for you. Probably knew this day was coming, knowing that he won't get any cosmetics anymore, nor any new players either. The worst part is how little people care about this character compared to Stranger Things, which adds more to the sad feeling. But deep down in your soul, you hope that one day they hit you with the news that this license comes back. The Artist. Artist mains are eating very well, with so many high quality cosmetics as well as the crazy legendary skins she got. The Artist might be one of the killers with the best cosmetics in the game so far. If only she got the same amount of love in a gameplay sense, as getting the snipes is very satisfying whenever survivors don't have a brain cell and they don't know the locker mechanic or don't know how to not run in a straight line. But hey, at least her add-on nerf was reverted, right? Sadako. Sadako mains are extremely happy now that the TVs will take priority over chest spawns, so no more TV spawning in Narnia. And it's all thanks to FNAF coming to DVD. The only thing that could make you happier is for the community to stop confusing Sadako with Samara, the American version of the ring, and for the devs to finally fix Reiko's watch. The Dredge. The first step into becoming a Dredge main is buying every single cosmetic it has in the store, since each of them is peak. The second step is knowing that even with the crazy buffs it got some months ago, Dredge still kinda sucks, but it's much better to play with. Nothing is as satisfying as getting a random survivor that was trying to lock a locker, especially if it's done early in the match, and that's enough for you to never drop this killer no matter how weak it is. Albert Wesker. Wesker Mains are by far the players with the highest ego and the lowest age average, and I guarantee they played comp DBD at least once in their life. Every single Wesker main will let out a disappointment sigh anytime someone says that Wesker is strong because of the crazy techs you can do with him, because their mains know that the techs exist just for show, as in the majority of cases, zoning with brutal strength is way better and more consistent than trying to hit a tinky winky slide for a clip on Twitter that won't go viral. The Knight. For some unspecified reason, all I can think of when I imagine Knight mains in my head is fans that are absolutely obsessed with this absolute hunk of a Hungarian man and want to do things to him that I cannot say without getting demonetized. Outside of that type of Knight main, I am sure there are others who love Knight's visual design as they always were massive fans of dark fantasy, and then there are the Knight mains that have both. The Skull Merchant. I could go the easy route of making fun of Skull Merchant mains, but I think the devs have already clowned you enough. Not only did they butcher her completely, but it didn't fix anything, as survivors still complain and go next against her, and the rework might remove the reason why you main her, which is such a disservice considering how her mains are the players who funded the game with all the cosmetics they keep buying despite how trash she is. I would not even be surprised if they still buy her cosmetics but don't play her at all at this point, and it's a given that every single Scully main has that one Chinese New Year headpiece. The Singularity. Singularity mains used to have the stereotypes of having the most brain meat intensive character to main, but that was before they made him play itself with the crazy auto aim he gets. Now he is very strong, very easy to slug with, and demolish bad survivors, but you know because the pick rate is low and there aren't many Singularity mains that you are all good. Your cosmetic choices with Singularity are either the slimmest one there is or an absolutely bulky monster. There is no in between. The Xenomorph. Just like Artist, Xenomorph mains are eating good. First, that insect outfit that is fire. Next up, that crazy water Xenomorph skin coming soon. And finally, that insane buff to the harpoon gun add-on. All you need is a 2 vs 8 with Predator as your teammate, so two legends can finally coexist. Despite how cool this killer is, their mains hate how much the community hates the Xenomorph, either calling it boring or unfair to play against. When you know that good survivors can demolish this killer when they have a brain. Chucky. Chucky mains know how hated their character is, but they don't act like victims too much. The reason why is because despite being hated so much, for some reason, everyone ends up underrating this killer a lot after the nerfs, calling him B tier or C tier despite Chucky still being extremely lethal in a chase. Some mains love how underrated he is, others get pissed when people claim Wesker is stronger, but you know one thing is true. A lot of you will play DBD in French just to hear Chucky's new dubbed voice. The Unknown. Unknown is, for you, the visually scariest and coolest killer in Dead by Daylight. Your entire playstyle can be summed up by this image. You don't know if that shot will hit. You didn't calculate the angles either. You just aim up based on instinct and shoot your shot hoping to hear that insanely satisfying sound of getting a survivor weakened. You absolutely love anytime you get a random bounce that ends up working, or that one hit throughout a ceiling that gets the survivor killed. There is also a very high chance that you are autistic or have ADHD, and for that reason you get pissed whenever someone says that the Unknown is A tier. Vecna. Talking about autism and ADHD, let's talk about Vecna Mains, who absolutely love this character because of how much he has going on, like knowing which spell to use in what situation, using your fly in order to perfectly block survivors from vaulting back, getting skeleton hits using elevations or crazy drop shots, and knowing how to perfectly use Mage Hand. The only thing you hate, besides the fly nerf, is how people say that Myers and Pyramid Head are stronger than Vecna in terms of lore. Dracula. Remember when the players considered wolf form was the worst form he had? Dracula Mains are cracked at the game. They know through which structures his fire pillars will go through, learning new tricks every day. Their headsets are calibrated to be able to hear where survivors are even when they are in bad form. And some mains straight up only use the wolf form since individually that form is very strong. You know what else is strong? His ability to tunnel survivors out of the match, as well as the love for DILFs that Dracula Mains have. The Houndmaster. Don't call yourself a Houndmaster main if you don't pet your dog in every single match. Houndmaster mains have a lot of patience. The reason why is because they are able to endure the crazy amounts of dogs getting stuck in random collision and straight up horrible targeting selection when playing as her, or how easy the counterplay by competent survivors is, but it doesn't matter, as you forget about all of these problems the moment you get an insane redirect surfing dog bite that you didn't expect would work, only to go back to complaining and chasing that high again. The Ghoul. There are two types of Ghoul Mains, and they are radically different to each other. We have the true weebs, who will tell you to read the manga instead of watching the anime unless it gets a remake. They love Japan, and their next most requested killer is either from Berserk or Jujutsu Kaisen. On the other hand, we have the John Tokyo Ghoul players. The players who have never watched a single episode from Tokyo Ghoul or straight up any other anime before, and they just play him because slinging with the Kagune is extremely fun, and also because of how easy he is. Both players are united in that they have an insane amount of ego thanks to how easy it is to win as Kaneki, and also both players have bought the Rize skin in order to make Kaneki shut up during the lobby. Springtrap. Just like with Kaneki, there are two types of animatronic fans. The first one are the FNAF fans. You are extremely happy to see Springtrap in Dead by Daylight finally, especially with how great his 3D model is in the game, and you got all of his skins day one. However, you're still weirded out by the fact that he is missing the button on his torso. Then we have the other type of player, who didn't care about FNAF at all before he came to the game. But during the PTB, you fell in love with how complex and insane the skill ceiling of this power was, and you decided to learn the games before his release. Now, should I try to make a joke about the next killer release? Or should I just end the video here?